Good day to Political Spectrum. This program is designed to help make sense of major developments in our nation's polity and political economy. Political Spectrum comes to you live from Uyo, the state's capital, and I remain your host, Onumese Ehinoma Olusegun. As usual, our conversations continue on every political and economic developments in Nigeria. But first, on President Tinubu's administration's calendar. Today is August the 24th, Thursday, 2023, and it marks exactly 88 days of President Bola Tinubu in office as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That is about 2 months and 27 days as we gradually get closer to his first 100 days in office. All right, we begin to track our reports, but we start from the great state of Delta. Delta State Governor announces 10,000 naira stipend and weekly shift of civil servants by batches. Delta State Governor Right Honorable Sheriff Oborevwori has announced palliatives for civil servants in the state, with each worker to receive additional 10,000 naira monthly. The governor assured that the additional monthly 10,000 to support the workers would commence this month of August and last for 3 months. He said it is part of his administration's effort to cushion the impact of fuel subsidy removal on the workers. Further adding that the state's 50,196 workforce will now work in shifts and from home. Oborevwori, who stated this shortly after the swearing-in of 26 commissioners as members of the State Executive Council on Tuesday in Asaba, called on them to ensure fairness, equity, and justice to guide their actions for effective service delivery. He explained that workers on grade level 1 to 14 will run 2 shifts, with one set reporting to the office from Mondays to Wednesdays, and another set will be reporting on Thursdays and Fridays, while working days for workers on grade level 15 and above are to be worked out by the various NDAs as suitable to them. Now, the governor explained that he has seen with disabilities, widows, poor and vulnerable households, and the aged in society. Effective as soon as possible, the scheduled batches will be batch A to work from Monday through to Wednesdays. Then the style is those who work from Monday to Wednesday are to resume the following week working from Thursday to Friday, while those who work from Thursday to Friday are also to resume working from Monday to Wednesday. This is to ensure a balanced rotation and also to maintain equity in the state workforce. The governor had ensured Delta civil servants. All right, moving to the next report. July revenue from the Federal Account Allocation Committee, FAC. Now, the Federal Account Allocation Committee, FAC, has shared the sum of 966.110 billion for July Federation account revenue to the federal government, states, and local councils. This was disclosed at the FAC meeting chaired by the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edu, in Abuja. Now, the 966.11 billion total distributable revenue comprised statutory revenue of 397.41 billion, value-added tax VAT revenue 271.947 billion, electronic money transfer levy EMTL revenue 12.84 billion, and exchange difference revenue 283.904 billion. Now, accordingly, federal government received 374.485 billion, state governments received 310.670 billion, while local government councils received 229.409 billion for the month of July. Now, furthermore, 51.545 billion was shared with oil producing states as 13% derivation revenue. And as we speak, the excess crude account, the ECA balance currently stands at 473 billion 744.57 So for all civil societies who have, felt that it is their responsibility to monitor and track developments and the spendings of your state government, there you have it on screen. All the revenues received and sent to all the tiers of government for the month of July. You may begin to track, because it is your constitutional responsibility, and it is our constitutional responsibility to bring those informations to you. We move to the next report. Finance Minister, Mr. Wale Edun, to check inflation. So meanwhile, Wale Edun, still at the meeting, the coordinating minister of the economy and the minister of finance, stated same Tuesday, August, that the federal government intends to reduce the amount of currency in circulation to control inflation. He claimed that the action was necessary to maintain growing inflation at a level that was both desired and steady. Now, Edun, who was sworn in as a minister on Monday, remarked while in charge of the Federation Account Allocation Committee meeting in Abuja, and he said, and I quote, "There should be discipline in money supply to control inflation in the nation's economy." The minister told FAC members, by emphasizing discipline in money supply, the coordinating minister of economy and finance minister is referring to the need to carefully regulate the creation and circulation of money in the economy. On the monetary side, it involves controlling the growth of money supply through various measures, such as adjusting interest rates, open market operations, usually known as OMO, or setting reserve requirements for a bank. Let's hear what he has to tell us.
Need to perform. The expectations of Nigerians are heightened. Mr. President has already set the ball rolling to put Nigeria on the course that will take it to rapid, sustained, and inclusive growth. He has taken key macro monetary policy measures and fiscal policy measures. He has changed the economy of Nigeria already. However, it has come with the initial pain that comes from correction. And it is our duty to help him to ensure that that pain is minimized and its period is shortened. That everything that can be done to help the most vulnerable, to help the poorest in society. When we look at the price of fuel, 617 per litre, look at the price of bread. I suppose it depends on the size, but at least it's one that we have a job to do of making sure that these reforms do not leave people behind. You're all talented, you're good. There's huge talent here and there's huge expectation. I've had interaction, whether it's through the Presidential Transition Council. I've had interaction with finance, with the SGS office, in virtually the whole of the civil service in one way or the other. I've seen the ability to perform. I've seen the digitalization, the automation, and the use of technology. We have Director ICT here. So you can do it, and I think I would just like to say, let us work together as a team to achieve.
We know you are not in a stretch man. You might have not been in the Ministry of Finance before, but you have been in the financial sector for a very long time. We have heard about you, we have learned about you, and we know about you and what you can do. And so we are not in doubt that you are here. And I want to tell you that the staff here are very disciplined and very receptive to change and innovation. So we have positioned ourselves to work with you right from when you were.
All right, there you have it. The coordinating minister of economy assuring Nigerians that they want to try as much as possible to alleviate all these inconveniences and discomforts, and create a better economy. He also mentioned categorically that he has confidence on his team. He says that the team is fully automated and we have people who are, information and communications technology savvy. So we expect, because a whole lot is expected from the coordinating minister of economy. In fact, the political economy of Nigeria rests upon his shoulders. So we wish him well, and we hope that whatever executive decisions he takes through the presidency will be worth the while, and people will begin to feel the relief as we move on. Now to the next story. This next story is about someone in the political sphere who has, become some sort of celebrity. Talking about the immediate past governor of Rivers State, His Excellency Nyesom Wike. He has resumed in Abuja as the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. And this particular one is a special one. Wike denies using 300 million bulletproof car as FCT minister. And at the same time, he rolls out his plans as FCT minister. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has denied using 300 million bulletproof car as his official vehicle. There were reports that Wike recently took delivery of a luxurious bulletproof car worth 300 million with the plate number FCT01. However, in a chat with journalists in Abuja on Wednesday, Wike refuted the report, saying the car he is using as FCT minister is not bulletproof. Now, he said as governor of Rivers State, he used a bulletproof car, but not anymore as minister. Wike said, and I quote, "We can see what is going on social media. How they bought a bulletproof car of 300 million that I'm using. So I want you people to go and hit your hands there, that's on the car, and see really whether it's a treated car, that is, whether it's a bulletproof car." He continues, and I quote, "With all due respect, people should be careful not to destroy other people. When I came into the office, the permanent secretary said they had a car for us, so I have never approved any car to be bought, and I'm not using an official bulletproof car. I have bulletproof cars as governor, but I'm not using the bulletproof car as FCT minister," he said. All right, having cleared the air, the Honorable Minister Nyesom Wike's commitment and promises as FCT ministers under the President Tinubu's administration so far were also listed. The first was to get rid of criminals within Abuja hiding in slums and shanties. Then also apprehend manhole looters. He went further by adding that he will revive Abuja rail mass transit network. Then also to restore the Abuja master plan, as well as demolish structures outside the plan. He said construction of good roads and repairs of street lights in Abuja will also be his priority. And then finally he said to keep Abuja tidy and neat as it ought to be. Now there you have it. Now to our next and most important report. Stop former governors from collecting pensions as ministers. Serap urges Tinubu. Now, the Social Economic Rights and Accountability Project has urged President Bola Tinubu to publicly instruct the former governors who are now serving as ministers in his administration to stop collecting life pensions. Exotic cars and other allowances from their states while they still serve as ministers. Now, Serap urged him to instruct the former governors to immediately return any pension and allowance that they may have collected since leaving office to the public, back to the public treasury. The following former governors are now ministers in Tinubu's administration. Let's count them. Badaru Abubakar is a minister. Nyesom Wike himself is FCT minister. Bello Matawale is a minister. Adegboyega Oyetola, former governor of Osun, is a minister. David Umahi Ebonyi is a minister. Then others are Simon Lalong from Plateau State, Atiku Bagudu, and Ibrahim Gaidam. Now, in the letter dated 19th August 2023 and signed by Serap, Deputy Director Kolawale Oluwadare, the organization said, and I quote, the appointment of a former governor who collects life pensions while serving as ministers is implicitly forbidden by the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, and the country's international legal obligation. Serap has also urged the Senate President Godswill Akpabio and 13 former governors in the 10th Senate to also disclose the total amount of life pensions, if any, that have been received from their states as former governors. Now, Serap stated that the president will be acting in the public interest by stopping former governors now serving as ministers and even in the Senate, in the current government, from collecting life pensions, especially given the current grave economic realities in the country. If the ministers that the president appoints are those who collect life pensions rather than serve the public interest, then that may show little about the conduct and integrity of the ministers, but speaks volumes about the exercise of presidential power of appointment. Now they said, and I quote, Serap says, and I quote, Nigerians will judge the president in part by the conduct, integrity, and honesty of the ministers that he appoints to work in his government. Now, ultimately, the success of the president's government will depend on the conduct of the ministers that he appoints. These commitments are consistent with the president's constitutional duties under sections 5, 130, and 147, and oath of office under the 7th schedule to the Constitution of Nigeria 1999 as amended. Serap continues to speak, and I quote, these constitutional provisions also require the president to instruct the former governors to stop collecting life pensions and to return any pensions collected to the public treasury. Life pensions for former governors serving as ministers are entirely inconsistent and incompatible with the Nigerian Constitution and the country's obligation under the UN Convention Against Corruption. The convention, specifically in paragraph 1 of Article 8, requires government to promote integrity, honesty, and responsibility in the management of public resources. Now, furthermore, and finally, Justice Oluremi Oguntoyinbo, in a judgment dated November 26, 2019, also indicated that double emoluments for former governors are unacceptable, unconstitutional, and illegal. Indeed, former governors collecting life pensions while serving as ministers would clearly amount to taking advantage of entrusted public positions. Now, there you have it. Now, Serap is not only concerned about former governors who are serving in this current cabinet, they are also concerned about former governors who have been elected as senators. But let's check it. Whether it is in the Constitution or not, while you are still serving the country as a public servant or as a civil servant as it is, are you supposed to be entitled to pensions already? These questions, we'll try to answer them when we get back, because we'll go on a short break now. If you're just tuned in, it's Political Spectrum on Spectrum Television. Remember, we are streaming this program live on YouTube. For those who are maybe on the move with their phones, you can watch us live and join in on the conversation at Spectrum T Online. That's our Twitter handle, or you can call it X handle. All our other social media handles are available for interactions. We'll take all your interactions as we come back. Join us again.
Nigeria should be expecting a departure from the norm. Everybody knows what's been happening in that solid mineral sector of the economy. It's been frittered away. Nigeria has been shortchanged. We've been receiving the shorter end of the stick. There is going to be a critical departure from that norm. But I'm not going to reveal the strategies and tactics right now. We'll be unfolding that as we move ahead. But we are going to harness those resources for the benefit of our people, for the benefit of Nigeria, and in the interest, collective interest of all. And we are going to be involving the private sector and there will be massive foreign direct investment into that sector. That is the only way to go. Nigeria should be expecting a departure from the norm. Everybody knows what's been happening in that solid mineral sector of the economy. It's been frittered away.
Excited, happy, and confident that Nigeria is going to take a new turn. Lord, my ministry caters to private sector.
We need to perform. The expectations of Nigerians are heightened. Mr. President has already set the ball rolling to put Nigeria on the course that will take it to rapid, sustained, and inclusive growth. He has taken key macro monetary policy measures and fiscal policy measures. He has changed the economy of Nigeria already. However, it has come with the initial pain that comes from correction. And it is our duty to help him to ensure that that pain is minimized and his period is shortened. That everything that can be done to help the most vulnerable, to help the poorest in society. When we look at the price of fuel, 617 per litre, look at the price of bread. I suppose it depends on the size, but at least it's 1,000 naira. That we have a job to do of making sure that these...
All those people who are distorting the master plan of Abuja, too bad, too bad. If you know you are built where you're not supposed to build, it will go down. It will go down. Be a minister of anywhere, be an ambassador. If you know you have developed where you're not supposed to develop, your house must go what? Down. Those who have taken over the green areas to build, sorry, our parks must come back. The green areas must come back. If you hate green, you must hate yourself. So if you know you have anybody who is involved that have taken over the green areas, have taken over the parks, to where you now do restaurants, no, we will not accept that. Sorry. If your father has done that, sorry. If your mother has done that, sorry. That's nothing I can do. It will go down. I don't care whom you are. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what you know, we must sanitize the place. I don't look at people's eyes. I don't know how you feel. My happiness is that the people of Abuja are happy. That's all. So, the Minister of State and myself are going to work to make sure we achieve this, that to make people now say, yes, Abuja has returned to what it's supposed to be.
Nigerian police, which is the only one allowed by grossly abused. Our governors have to share police powers with the president as stipulated by the Constitution. We do not have a federal government police force. We have the Nigeria Police Force, which shall be administered, organized, and supervised by the Nigerian Police Force.
No, my lord, I want to say something. I want to say something here. Perhaps it might also enlarge the scope of people who should be invited here for examination. My Lord, if we cannot find those who literally murdered Abiola, who are those people who could be said to be the beneficiaries of the death of Abiola?
Rogers has linked you with some of the killings he did.
He never did.
He linked you with the attempted murder of Hebrew.
He did not.
My Lord, the Matters Council is leading the evidence in our matters.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my Lord, but you can't be talking about cases which are in court,
Is
my
this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my Lord. These cases are in court, my Lord. I'm just reminding you, Your Lordship.
My Lord, sorry, my Lord, I think I'll be in cross-examination.
Legally Speaking, a program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazing country, Nigeria. Legally Speaking. Join us every
Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
for Legally Speaking.
All right, many thanks for staying tuned. If you're just tuned in, it's Political Spectrum. And as always, we have discussed a lot of issues as they develop and as we track them report by report. It's about time to introduce my guest on the show. He's joining us virtually from Asaba. Honorable Victor Ojei is a member of Coalition of Delta State Civil Societies and is also a special advisor to the executive governor of Delta State on civil society. Honorable Victor, nice to see you. Your face looks so serious.
Thanks for having me.
Your face looks so serious.
Thanks for having me here.
Hope I didn't wake you up.
No.
Okay, how's Delta today? How is Asaba?
Asaba is very peaceful.
Yeah.
And you know, the governor just inaugurated the commissioners and gave them assigned their portfolios to them.
I was coming there.
So they have all.
Yeah, I was coming there. But first off, on behalf of myself and the entire management and staff of my company, we'd like to offer our condolence on the passing of your brother. We understand that very soon you'll be involved in the burials. May God strengthen you and give your families the fortitude to bear the loss.
Thank you.
All right.
So is the burial.
All right. Yeah, I know. All right.
Thank you.
Our report, funny enough, started from Delta State, where you are domicile and you are a part of the government as well as a part of the civil society. The governor has rolled out quite a bit of things, 10,000 naira monthly for the next 3 months for civil servants, just like Ogun also announced, Kwara announced, and a few other states have also announced. Do you think the palliatives that your governor has rolled out, you think they are good enough for civil servants? Then does he have any other plan for people who are not directly serving, in a public civil service?
What the governor did, the 10,000 naira palliative for civil servants, is a sign of goodwill. It's a good start. Like the saying goes, they say church know the fool once. Little by little,